Hey Warrior friends, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about our next project. We're going to take a short pause in our story, Ungifted, to focus a little bit on the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympic Games are about to kick off. I think opening ceremonies are supposed to be February 3rd. And I always get really excited for the Olympics, whether it's the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics. I think the Olympic Games are such a fun thing to watch for a couple different reasons. Number one, the Olympics only happen once every 4 years. It's not like football that we have football season every fall or basketball every year in the winter. The Olympics only happen once every 4 years. So when they happen, it's exciting to watch. The Olympics are also really exciting because it's an opportunity for the best athletes from around the world to come together and compete peacefully. Even if their countries may be at odds politically or militarily at odds, it is awesome to see everybody come together in peace and to compete as athletes. But it's also really awesome to watch the Olympics because every time a new Olympic Games gets started, the games are played in a different host country and host city. This year, the Winter Olympic Games are going to be held in Beijing, China. And watching the Olympics on TV gives us an opportunity to learn a little bit about the culture of the host country. Their opening ceremonies often depict the music that is popular in their culture and any other pop culture or some of the country's history. So it's a great opportunity for us to learn about different places around the world. And it's awesome that every Olympic Games is hosted in a different country, in a different city. So we get to see something new every time we have an Olympic Games. But this year, I am really, really excited for the Olympics because I just found out on Saturday, my cousin, Kelly Delka, is going to be competing in the Winter Games. Kelly began her athletic career in college as a sprinter. She was really great at running fast. And it was actually one of her college track teammates that talked her into looking at the skeleton race as her next adventure. Skeleton racing gets its name from the sled that the athletes use. It's a basic skeleton of other sleds. You'll notice from the picture that this sled is really simple. It has a flat surface that Kelly's laying on. There are two metal runners on the bottom that slide across the ice. And then she has two pink handles. These handles are used at the beginning of the race when Kelly does her push start, which means that she's going to hang on to one of those handles and begin running. Once she gets up enough speed, she lays down on her stomach and continues sliding down the track for the remainder of the race. Kelly's been training now for 8 years, and it was just this past weekend that she finally qualified for the Olympic Games. She'll be representing the country of Puerto Rico, and this will be her first time to compete in the Olympics. So what I would like to do over the next few weeks is I want to take some time to research some of the different events that are in the Winter Olympics. I don't know if you guys have a favorite one you want to watch. I've had other classes say they love to watch snowboarding. I love to watch figure skating. And of course, I love to watch the skeleton race. But there's so many different events that are part of the Winter Olympic Games. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to take some time to look up facts and information about different sports that are a part of the Winter Olympic Games. And then we're going to use the facts that we find, and we're going to write ourselves a Who Am I riddle. Here's a few examples of what am I riddles. I have 4 teeth, 1 tail, but no feet. What am I? The answer? A fork. 4 teeth, 1 tail, no feet. Got it? Here's another example. I have a spine, but no bones. What am I? Think library here. The answer is a book. Here's the last one. I'm green and brown. I'm a house for a bird, and kids love to climb me. What am I? If you guessed tree, you're absolutely right. Well, it's almost time to check out, but before we do, let me explain what we're going to do at our next library class. Next time we're together, I'm going to let each student pick their favorite Winter Olympic sport, and if you're not sure, I'll give you a list of all the options. I'm also going to give you a website that you're going to use, and you're going to look up information about the sport that you selected. Here's the things I'm going to want you to look for in order to write a good "What am I" riddle. Number one, I think we need to include what kind of equipment is used for this sport. For example, in the skeleton, the most important piece of equipment is the sled. Now, the athletes also wear a helmet that protect their heads. They also wear shoes that have spikes on them so they can run on the ice. But the most important piece of equipment is their sled. So I think that needs to be part of the riddle. I think we should also take a look at the sport and decide, is it a team sport or is it an individual sport? And of course, the skeleton race is an individual sport. There's only one person that's going to fit on that little sled. I also think that we should look at where does the event take place? Skeleton races happen on a track. Snowboarding happens on a mountain. And ice skating happens in a rink. I think we should include in our riddle where the athletes compete. So skeleton racers race on a track. And then the last thing I think has to be part of our riddle is, how do you win your game or your event? And of course, with skeleton races, the person who is the fastest is the winner. But other competitions are judged differently. For example, in snowboarding and in ice skating and figure skating, athletes are judged on a point system. The more difficult your trick is, the more points you get. If you can, as a figure skater, jump up in the air, twirl around 3 times, and then land back on your feet, you're going to get more points than if you jumped up in the air, twirled around 2 times, and landed on your skates. So the more difficult the trick, the more points you receive. So in some events, you would win if you have more points. So if I was to write a "What am I" riddle for the skeleton, it might sound like this. I race down a track all by myself, and the first one the person with the fastest time is the winner. What am I? And of course the answer is skeleton race. So be thinking about what Winter Olympic sport you might be interested in researching. If you're not sure, don't worry. I'm going to make sure that you know what all your options are next time we're together. So for today, make good choices as you select your books, and we'll start researching next time we're together.